everybody. Welcome back to another Eagles Nest podcast. I'm Brad Brewer with your football analyst. No, I'm just kidding. Your resident real estate guy with a side passion for spooky and strange stories. We'll get to that in a minute. And of course, I'm with, as always, my co-pilot in this weird adventure, Vincent Devall.
Hi, everybody. Yeah, we're here with Eagle Homes team, powered by Coldwell Realty. And Brad, you're beaming today. This episode really is in your wheelhouse, isn't it?
Yeah, our script creator, I don't know if I ever really beam, but that's a choice of words, so that's kind of funny. But yes, completely though. Actually, it's actually a fun topic for me. I've actually had this on our agenda for since the beginning of the year.
Okay.
And I just keep moving it because whenever, but it felt like a good week. We're closing on Halloween season, so you already got the spooky stuff. Some of that's in myths and legends, which is of course our topic today. But yeah, back when I was a teenager in Indiana, I loved exploring different legends, haunted spots with my friends. We used to take the flashlight out, Ouija board on occasion, just a couple of cemeteries we knew were haunted, some buildings we knew were haunted. We never went in, trespassing. But we would take it out there and try and scare ourselves. And I've seen one potential paranormal activity in my life in doing that. And it was pretty cool. So today we're gonna obviously fall under also some living legends, of course.
Yeah, love it. Yeah, and Burlington came to deliver, right? Between famous faces like Tony Romo, Gregory Ensign, and the wild stories of tunnels, ghostly ladies in blue, and even mysterious white beast. Let's dive in.
That's a cliffhanger right there, the white beast.
I know.
All right, so let's start with some famous people. We got a pretty cool list of famous people that helped put Burlington on the map for a small town. These are all sourced from various online sites, so hopefully they are accurate.
Brad never digs into accuracy.
This is the most I've actually dug into when I was looking up and it was saying certain things. So I would click on the source articles, which are usually just very trusting. This time I was diving in more because I wasn't interested in it, but hopefully all these famous people have the ties that the research shows.
I think most of them.
Very confident in the accuracy of the first one, of course, because he's still living and still very famous. Tony Romo, of course, NFL fans will recognize him as a longtime Dallas Cowboy quarterback, and now, of course, he's one of the top broadcaster analysts for CBS. He grew up right here in Burlington, started at Burlington High School, I think a three or four sport athlete. And still very active in different things with the hometown today. So that was easy.
Yeah, that's easy. And the next one is Bill Casimir. He's the 3-time world's strongest man. Even though he wasn't born here, he was born in Alabama. He lived and trained here in Burlington. So a lot of locals can definitely claim him as one of our own.
That one I definitely did not know. And one of the next two I've never heard of, which is fine. Based on the age, makes sense. We also have the great baseball history with Ginger Beaumont, a Pittsburgh Pirate batting champ from the early 1900s, is from Burlington, I guess, or has ties to the Burlington area. And then this I did not know, and I'm curious if it's actually true. Paul Ryan, who's actually from Janesville, one of our former House Speaker and Congressman for many years for this area, I guess is linked and went to a high school in the Burlington area. That one I couldn't really confirm, but well, there you go. So,
he also put the script together about 5 minutes ago. I'm just kidding.
10 minutes.
Okay. Don't forget the arts. Gregory Ensign, Emmy-nominated actor, famous for playing President Logan on 24, and then Jennifer Lyon from Survivor, Palu. Pretty impressive lineup for a small Wisconsin city.
Yeah, and Vince actually asked the question. Of course, there's Itzon's shoes here in Burlington. Well, Mr. Itzon, let us know. I don't know if this is a relation or not. Who knows, right? A lot of Burlington families have been around for generations, so I guess it's quite possible. Anybody has any information on corrections on any of these, please let us know. Again, it's myths and legends, so you figure it out.
Yeah.
So, but I think we forgot one, Vince.
What did we forget?
Aren't you pretty famous?
If you consider bourbon and golf famous, then yes. Jeez Louise.
Well, of course, well-known realtor in the area.
Oh yes, sorry.
I didn't even put that in the script. We have to go there, right? All right, so let's move on to some ancient mysteries beneath downtown. Really had a hard time figuring any of this out as far as truth. So please, any of this stuff, if you guys have knowledge of this, I'd love to read it. Put it in the comments, send us an email, whatever.
Yeah.
So apparently, one of the most talked about myths is the ancient burial grounds beneath downtown Burlington. The story goes that there are supposedly 27 mounds that once sat where the historic district is now. So don't know, but
yeah. So supposedly construction crews allegedly found human remains while digging foundations. Some folks connected to the mound builder cultures, prehistoric indigenous people who built ceremonial burial sites across the Midwest. So yeah, that's pretty interesting. And probably not uncommon for some cities to be built on burial mounds.
It did cite that there was not hard proof of the 27 mounds, but the idea adds to the eerie layer that's between the Burlington history. So
cool. Now, speaking of eerie, there are stories about tunnels under Burlington, supposedly used during Prohibition, which is once again very common to move bootleg liquor or just hide it away when there's raids happening.
We know Vince would have been very active in this if he were alive then.
I probably would have helped.
Yeah. Now this one I've heard of. The Malthouse Theater is central to this lore. People say the tunnel's connected to it, and here's where it gets spooky. The lady in blue is said to haunt the theater. And I have heard this. I've only been to the Malthouse Theaters, I think, for one performance ever. Saw no signs of this. I don't know when she comes out and hangs out, but witnesses claim she appears in a flowing blue gown and sometimes vanishes through the walls. I've never witnessed it. I've heard of it.
Yeah.
But
definitely a classic small town ghost story. Mix of history, imagination, and maybe a drafty building at night just kind of turns that a little.
And there's also the Confederate apparition on Academy Road. Academy Road's out towards Rochester, between here and Waterford. A phantom soldier has been marching where no battle ever took place. This is the myth.
Okay, interesting.
Add in stories of a strange green mist or cars losing power near the woods, and you've got the ingredients of a late night ghost tour. Now, I've been on Academy Road many times in my living here for over 25 years, both day and night. I've never witnessed this, but it makes me want to take Academy Road more often, just to freak the hell out of myself, I guess.
Well, in that green mist, you sure it's not corn sweat?
Well, we'll have to do our local corn sweat expert, Mark Anhalt. If you're watching, please comment. Do you think can corn sweat be green, Mark? We really want to know.
Yes, please.
Our local Canadian friend, Mark. So,
and then there's the Burlington's own cryptid, the White Beast of Burlington. We talked about at the beginning, the White Beast sightings cluster around the old fish hatchery area. Descriptions vary though. Some say it's a huge albino animal, others a spirit creature. So it's who knows what it is, but it's one of those myths we're curious to see.
We have a team member that lives out and around near fish hatchery, so we'll have to talk to him to see if this is something that
something he's seen in his morning
seen, heard, witnessed, or anything like that.
Yeah.
So, but that one's again, and I've been on fish hatchery too, but I don't know when these things occur. Again, anybody please, I'm gonna keep mentioning this. If you have information on any of these old myths and things like that, please let us know. Love to hear it. So, and then classic small town cryptid energy, like Wisconsin version of Bigfoot with a bleach job, apparently.
That's what the white animal is.
That's what the white animal is. So.
Yeah, a white Bigfoot.
A white Bigfoot.
An albino Bigfoot.
Yeah.
Now, just outside Burlington is Voree, founded by a branch of the Latter-day Saints, led by James Strange in the 1840s.
And I don't know if I'm going to pronounce it, the Strangeites. Called
yeah.
Voree, the Promised Land.
So the Strangeites were the people that followed James Strange.
Okay. So the big story is Strange's brass plates supposedly found under an oak tree, which he claimed were divine revelation. I dove deeper into the story and I couldn't really figure out where this actually is. According to sources, there is a large granite rock, probably about that would cover these two chairs up and sits about this high. That for those who can't tell, it's about 4 feet. Could be taller. And then there's a large plaque on it that's commemorating the spot for this.
Oh, interesting.
I'd actually like to check this out. Kind of seems cool. I saw some photos online. It just looks like a wooded area. It's in the Burlington area somewhere. So if anyone is aware of this, please let me know. I'd kind of like to check it out. Hopefully it's ground that we can walk on. I don't want to traipse over somebody's private property and get in trouble.
Yeah, and then there are also accounts of a proxy baptism in the White River, called by some the River of the Dead. Whether you see it as a faith history or a mystical lure, it's part of the area's unique identity.
So I by the way, and the White River is pretty famous. A lot of people do the kayaking from Lake Geneva down, feeds into the Fox River here, combines with that. Again, somebody's just never heard. Now I'm just super curious. I have no desire to kayak. I don't kayak, but now I want to. Kind of. All right. Haunted woods and fairy mounds. Local hikers whisper about haunted woods and a fairy mound near Burlington. A raised earthwork said to be a spiritual portal. Again, couldn't figure out exactly where this is. So please, anybody out there that has any knowledge of this or heard of this,
it's probably just every woods around. It's like kids.
It probably is.
Yes, but people report on lights, whispers, even a sense of being watched. Again, hard evidence is thin, but as a folklore, it's powerful.
You know what's funny about all this and my stories and my obsession with these type of weird things is I don't watch horror movies.
Oh, that's interesting.
I actually don't really like horror movies. There's a couple series. I always like the Halloween ones.
Yeah.
And the Scream ones actually, just because they kind of came out at a time where I was the age of those people that when I started. So anyway, but yeah, it's kind of weird, but I like this creepy weird stuff. So the next is so why do these stories matter? So these tales, true, exaggerated, or somewhere in between, like we said, give our community a little bit of texture, a little bit of history, a little bit of excitement, right? Or I guess guessing.
Yeah. Well, and they make a great conversation starter when showing homes. Now, Brian, you can say things like, by the way, did you know Tony Romo grew up here? Right?
Yeah.
And some folks say a Lady in Blue wanders the theater in downtown. So when showing homes in Burlington, it kind of depending on reading your clientele, they might buy into some of that.
That's exactly. Burlington is just a really kind of interesting, cool spot on the map. There's some other stuff we could have dove into. It just didn't fit into the myths and categories.
Yeah.
We could have dove deeper too if we would have expanded the area, like various famous people that live in this area.
Yeah.
You never know lived here, like some Hollywood producers, directors.
Right.
We've got some pretty cool, big time famous people that somehow found the Burlington, Lake Geneva area on the map, which is kind of interesting. But now before we close the show out today, just want to give a shout out. We're gonna have a guest today from Experience Burlington. Tomorrow is the Experience Burlington outing, of course.
Okay.
So a quick little shout out. It helps raise funds and support local businesses and stuff like that. So stay tuned for news. Check out Experience Burlington's Facebook page. I want to give a quick shout out to that before we wrap up for the
So that's a wrap on today's deep dive into Burlington's legends and famous figures.
Yeah. So if you've got your own local story, some clarity on some of these ghost sightings, hidden history, drop us a message. Love to read about it. Please provide any links you can to support any of it.
Yeah.
But I have my agenda now for the week. I'm going to do probably some more digging into some of these, maybe check them out. If I end up wandering on somebody's private land, don't shoot me. Just tell me to leave. I promise I'll leave quickly.
Yeah. And as always, we're the Eagle Homes team with Coldwell Banker Realty, helping you find a home, a community, and a ledger or two along the way.
Thanks for listening to the Eagles Up podcast. Don't forget to subscribe. Check us out on YouTube, Facebook, and of course, our website at eaglehomes.com.
Yeah. Thanks, everyone. Have a great week. Bye.